All righty. Next up, we got my turn.
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
As we talk about picking, which would you rather have with the quarterback edition? And
This one's
taking away to Rob with the list.
Oh, would you take Mr. Cutlets himself, Tommy DeVito, cousin of Danny, nephew of Danny DeVito, or that might be all made up there.
We're not sure how they're related, but somehow we're just assuming there can't be any more DeVitos.
Both from Jersey. Or Jacoby Brissett. Brisket, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, DeVito's got to start on this list because he's the only one we got in there. I get always there, but I'm like, Jacoby Brissett. Why? Like, I wouldn't want either one of these if we're being very frank here. We're definitely starting the bar low here, knowing that we got more coming. But
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like Brissett is a better chance to win than DeVito does. But DeVito, you got the small chance that maybe he develops into a backup quarterback like we were hoping, whereas Brissett's on his way out. But I feel like we're going to have two quarterbacks probably. One's going to be a young one, so I'll take Brissett because he'll be the guy that's going to train up and, teach up a youngin'.
Well, that makes sense because he also might be the guy, like we talked about guys in the they go to the National Football League. They don't play well, but become great coaches. And Jacoby's, let's be honest, like he's never been a top tier quarterback, never like a second tier. Really, like possibly a couple years in his career, maybe half season, the third tier. But he's been a great backup. So he's probably got a lot of knowledge of where he's been on a lot of teams and picked up a lot of coaching tips.
He's got to have some kind of knowledge.
Yeah, let's hope so.
I hope so.
All right. So that being said, we're locking Jacoby. So would you take Mr. Brisket himself? You think he would be smoked beef, pork, or chicken kind of
guy? Roast beef, definitely roast beef.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Anyway, would you take this? I skipped dinner, guys. Sorry. Would you take Jacoby or would you take Jaxson Dart?
Jaxson Dart without a second thought. And I'm not even a fan of Jaxson Dart.
I was about to say, yeah, that makes sense because definitely going to lock him up cheaper and you're going to have him a lot longer.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And there's potential long term if I'm wrong.
There's potential, but there's not that much because it's not going to cost you that much.
No, and it worst comes to worst, he's a good backup.
Yeah,
I think that's where Dart's going to
be. All right, I'll actually say Jaxson Dart or Mr. Meteor Kirk Cousins himself.
Which, by the way, there's rumors that floating around because the Falcons have thrown out there that Kirk Cousins is going to stay on as their backup. I'm not buying that BS.
Yeah, that's a very expensive backup.
It's not even the expense. It's like, you think Kirk Cousins is not going to be an issue behind closed? He won't do it in front of cameras, but behind closed doors, yeah, that's going to be an issue. You're going to waste the last couple of years of his career.
It's amazing because we actually talked about last year how much, or the year prior, with all the injuries to quarterbacks, that you're probably going to want to pay a little bit more to your backup quarterback. And
yeah, not $40 million.
Backup. That's a very expensive backup price.
Expensive backup. Yeah, I'm going to stick to Jaxson Dart for the same reasons I gave it Jacoby Brissett, to a little bit of a twist here. So Dart, again, has some potential for long term, and he's going to be cheap. Kirk Cousins, not going to be cheap. Probably played his best football. And on top of that, let's be honest, even when he was in his prime, it wasn't like he was, going through the playoffs and making an impact. Hell, Daniel Jones beat him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to stick Jaxson Dart.
Yeah, the only thing that Kirk Cousins brings to the table is a lot more knowledge of being on the field in the NFL.
And his bling.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Looks fantastic.
You like that?
Yeah. He is not Mr. Primetime. He does not have the knowledge of winning in high, strong games, which we've had that before. So let's stay away from that.
Yeah.
I agree. There's no wrong answers. So that being said, let's talk about the age and the beauty in the room. Are you sticking with a Dart, or you're gonna flop and switch sides and go with Mr. Russell Wilson?
Honestly, this is a difficult one for me because Wilson is the better quarterback. But again, you got the age issue. You have the creepiness issue. Sorry, he's a little creepy. If you're going to tell me that I could take him and later on get a rookie quarterback, I'm good with that. But because this scenario here, we're saying who would you rather take, and you can't have both. I'm going to take again Jaxson Dart because of the potential. Whereas I think that Russell Wilson, another year or two, he's probably on his way out of the league, let alone starting, and he didn't look as good as Justin Fields did in Pittsburgh, in my opinion. I know they were winning with them, but I think Fields looked better as a quarterback overall. And then on top of that, you go into the fact that he didn't look good in Denver.
That's exactly where I was going to go with that.
Yeah, like I said, I like him as a bridge quarterback, but in this scenario, because we're talking about just getting one of the two, then we're going to go ahead and stick with Jaxson Dart here.
Yeah, I agree. Like, if you're 100%, if he's a bridge quarterback, yeah, he's got a lot of knowledge. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's been and won very close, high action, high pressured games.
Yep.
He's also cringy as F, if you will, AF for all you guys out there. But he declined it. Like, Sneaky Pete knew something when he picked up Geno Smith, and everyone thought he was crazy. Like, everyone bashed Sneaky Pete for his sneakiness.
Yeah.
And he knew the right on the wall. Like,
he knew his time.
And he seems to be a great systems quarterback and not going too unorthodox.
Yep.
You go to the Broncos where you didn't have great coaching. He went downhill. He played better the last year, but not great. So much that the Broncos ate a buttload of money to cut him. Go to Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Great coach team that with not a lot of talent around him looks better.
Yep. And
fantastic.
This scenario is very similar to what the Broncos did last year. Think about it. They basically chose Bo Nix over Russell Wilson. Very similar scenario here, taking Jaxson Dart instead over Russell Wilson. Because 100%. Jaxson Dart is thought of as being like a second-round pick, which by most people in draft circles, which is what Bo Nix was. Obviously, he went much earlier, but it doesn't make him a better prospect than he was. Just made someone reach for him because he's a quarterback. So far, that reach has worked out for them, by the way. So I'm not even knocking him for it. But
yeah,
that's. I think it's a fair comparison.
Yeah, but once going back, so you're going to go back to the quarterback gurus over here and send Russell Wilson and see how he plays. So yeah, I agree with you. Dart, it is. All right, so you're sticking with Jaxson.
I never thought Jaxson Dart would make it so long in this game, too.
Right? But we're going to stay in Pittsburgh here. Are you going to go with Justin Fields or Jaxson Dart?
You know what? Honestly, and I'm going to get some poop for this one potentially here. I'm going Justin Fields. I think that, my thoughts on Jaxson Dart. I see a lot of Daniel Jones in him, and that scares me. Has trouble reading defenses, has trouble throwing with anticipation. Fields has gone to a situation in Chicago where most Jay's booing everybody today. But most people have failed, let's be honest. Like, quarterbacks have not succeeded in Chicago. Then he goes to Pittsburgh, plays for a few games, looked much better than the prior years. And he's still youngish. Obviously, he's not rookie age.
What,
I'm not trying to say, I'm not trying to say he's rookie age at that point, but you put him in the right system, and he's 25, by the way, but he's going to be 26 in like a week. So March 5th, happy early birthday, Justin Fields.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's at a point in his career where if he's going to turn the corner, it's going to be now. And you have to get him in the right spot to do that. You get him with the Giants. Let's say the offensive line is healthier, because that's a big part of this. You get him a guy like Malik Neighbors, and you see what you can do with him at that point with Brian Dable is supposed to be the quarterback whisperer. We don't think he really is, but you guys call it the quarterback whisperer. And maybe he's the Sam Darnold next year. A guy who went to 3 places, as I see Jay talking about, going your 3rd team by 25. Darnold was on his 4th team. And don't tell me the Jets and the Bears both aren't horrible at developing quarterbacks.
Yeah, Joshua Dobbs the year prior.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. I would take the shot because it's as much a issue I have with Jaxson Dart as it is with Fields. I just don't think Dart's that good. If I thought Dart was going to be a solid starting quarterback in this league, I would go Dart all day long.
Yeah, at least you know what you got in Justin Fields on NFL caliber teams. We've seen it for years.
We don't. I don't think we do. I really don't think we do. I seriously don't. I look at him and I don't think we have seen the real Justin Fields yet. With real Justin Fields, please stand up.
There's a big difference between playing the NFL teams being terribly coached and playing in college being coached better. So with better coaching. So I agree. Like I think you're right here. I think Fields has more of the upswing. He's a higher floor. It's a safer pick. And you talk about not having a guy that's going to be your next 10-year quarterback. We're talking about who would you take in this scenario.
And I'm telling you right now, if the Steelers let him go, they're crazy. Unless they're getting like a Matt Stafford or somebody like that there, which, because he was 4-2 guys as a starter. He should have stayed the starter. 65.8 completion percentage, 1,106 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's not too shabby at all in those kind of games. Then you throw in the fact that he ran for additional yards besides that. Obviously, he's got that flashing ability to run. He had just under 300 yards rushing in those games as well. So you're talking to a guy who's going to get you 800-900 yards rushing potentially, and go ahead and potentially have, say, even a 50-50 ratio TD interception with 3,500 yards. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's an improvement, guys. I hate to say it. I know we're setting the bar low, but an improvement would be just one of those throwing machines where you put the football and it throws it for you. Like, that would be an improvement of what we had.
Sadly. Yeah, and listen, Fields has used to run for his life before Chicago, so at least he's got a little head start with that.
There we go.
All right, so we're going with Fields. This one, talk about the redemption story. You're going to go with the redemption of Justin Fields or continue to ride that high horse of redemption with Mr. Eugene Smith, Esquire?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Justin Fields. 2 reasons. One, you'd have to trade to get Geno Smith. And the second reason is the age. I'm going to include a third reason. I still think you take him out of Seattle, he's not good.
I 100% agree with you.
And I'm not trying to put him down. A great story, as you mentioned, redemption story. That's a huge redemption story. Talk about a career that was going nowhere fast.
Multiple teams. Yeah,
but I mean, with the guys, like the DK Metcalfs of the world and all he has. Lockett, Jackson Smith, the Jigma now as well. He had guys like Noah Fant. He's had some, I won't say like amazing tight ends, but he's had legitimate NFL tight ends.
Top 10s.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm not. That's and then again, throw the age in there on top of that. I'm good. So Justin Fields, I'm sticking with.
100%. Justin Fields also never got punched in the face in the locker room.
We know of.
That we know of. All right, so we're sticking with Justin Fields. Now here's the comparison everyone wants to hear.
Yeah, I'm seeing the comment already from Mike Jones there already asking right now.
When you're talking about poaching from another team here, are you going to go stick with your Justin Smith? Your Justin Fields pick.
Is that like a Geno Smith, Justin Fields hybrid?
Did a hybrid there.
He can run around the football field while getting punched in the face.
Are you sticking with Fields, or are you willing to take the chance on a Super Bowl caliber quarterback and Mr. Matt Stafford?
So here's where it becomes difficult in this. there's a couple of variables that would affect my answer in this. Now, we don't have those variables, so I have to kind of guess what's going to happen. A, what's going to cost to get Matt Stafford? B, how much will I have to pay Matt Stafford because he's probably going to want a new contract? And number 3, how much longer does Matt Stafford see himself playing? Because if Matt Stafford says to you point blank, I got another year or two in me, I'm good. And he's what, 37? I mean, again, he could tell you I'm going to play for 5 more years. He has no way of guaranteeing that.
Listen, if you're about to sign a 37-year-old quarterback and he goes, I got about 5 or 6 years in me, you look at him like you're a 10-year-old car with 225,000 miles on you.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. It's like he's like the FJ Cruiser of the NFL quarterback world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The FJ Cruisers, everybody loves those things. They go for like ridiculous money. You can get them like $20,000 for one with 200,000 miles. It's ridiculous.
Listen, I looked into them 10 years ago, and they were already discontinued.
I know. It's insanity. By the way, they're making a mini one, I heard. Like a smaller version of it for off-roading. So that'd be interesting. But
that's what the original was for. But that's besides the point.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying, but a small one. But you look at those variables, and because of it, because of the fact he's going to want $50 million a year, supposedly, because of the fact he's 37 years old, because of the fact that the roster is not set up to win even with him, will we get in the playoffs with him? Maybe. And I'd say maybe, like legit maybe. I don't know. And if this is not going to get us a championship, then it makes no sense to sign a 37-year-old quarterback. We're not there. Now, if we were, let's say, a quarterback away, like let's say we went to the playoffs last year with no quarterback. Okay, I get it. Go get the quarterback, give it a couple years, maybe get another one to develop to go after him and see what happens. We're not there, guys. And I know I've said on this show plenty of times, I don't think the Giants are as far away as a lot of people think, and I still stand by that. But what I mean by that is you give us a quarterback, and I mean just even a okay quarterback, and we're probably an average team in this league. You give us a great quarterback, we might get in the playoffs. That's where we're at. We're not the bottom tier. I think some people, swear we are, because I do think we have more than people want to admit because of the stars we do have in this team. We do have some stars. Not every team has that. What star do the Titans have? What stars do the Browns have really besides, obviously the one they're about to lose and Garrett, But Matt Stafford does not get us to a Super Bowl ring. And if that's the goal, the true goal is to win a Super Bowl, then you don't sign him. Now, if the goal is just to keep Dable and Shane in a job, yeah, go get him. What the hell? But if that's the goal, then we have bigger issues than a Matt Stafford trade.
Yeah. Well, so imagine a scenario, and so just put it in the comment before you even get there. But all right, third overall pick, we get our guy that we want.
Yeah.
We sign Matt Stafford. We guarantee him 2 years with a third-year clause out, or maybe even 3 years guaranteed with a fourth year out. So you're saying you're going to play to 40, give or take, on one of these deals. You guarantee him, you have the conversation with him, you guarantee him 40 million. You don't usually like, listen, we don't think you're back in the back deal. So this way you actually only pay him 35 a year. Do you take that too?
You're not gonna pay him like 35 a year. Because here's the problem you run into. You can't backload a deal with a 37-year-old quarterback. Did that the Jets. And look at the cluster that are about to be in with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You put the guarantee in the first 2 or 3 years with backload or incentives. And you're like, listen, this is a situation. We want you to be the bridge quarterback that's going to teach our new guy coming in.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But we're in this scenario, we're only getting one quarterback.
I know, that's the problem. That's a little side quest.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like I said, if you can get him at a decent price with it both trade value wise and contract wise, and still go get your quarterback in the draft, then what the hell? But I don't think that happens. I think you go get him, you got to pay him a ton of money. You have to give up something valuable. Maybe not pick 3, but maybe you're giving up pick, in the second round. And probably more. Yeah, I'm good. Who we got next?
Gotcha. All right. So we're sticking with Fields.
We're sticking with Justin Fields.
You're sticking
Purely
with
because
Justin
of
Fields.
cost and because of age.
Boston age. Well, guess what? The next guy up is a young buck. So are you going to stick with Fields?
He's already in Tampa Bay?
No, he's just like a gazelle, a deer running around.
Oh, okay.
Well, he might be in Tampa Bay because
he plays basketball in Milwaukee. Are we getting the Greek Freak?
Well, listen, he might be in Tampa Bay right now because he's been in college in Florida.
I'm pretty sure he's in Indianapolis right now.
He might be in Indianapolis. That's probably very good point. Mr. Cam Ward himself there. Would you say Cam Ward or Justin Fields?
I'm taking Cam Ward all day long. We're taking Justin Fields on the hope that he reaches potential that he has yet to reach in this NFL career, but we think still is potentially there because of where he's been. Cam Ward is that blank slate. I'm taking Ward all day long. All day long.
Yes. 100%. I agree. And we laid it out before. I agree. You gotta go with Ward. It seems to be like our dude in this scenario. But is it our dude? Because up next, you could also go with Shedeur Sanders.
I am sticking with Cam Ward, point blank. Like I said, I am definitely gonna go ahead and get the guy that I think has the higher ceiling. And listen, I'm not going to be upset if they get Sanders either. Let me be very clear on that.
Yeah,
I will not be at all. But I feel like you can go ahead and get the guy with the higher ceiling. The guy is the gunslinger. What was the thing about Josh Allen they said coming out of college? Gunslinger, accuracy issues.
Yeah,
makes bad throws. Again, we've said this in the show plenty of times. I'm not giving Josh Allen credit to Brian Dable in no way, shape, or form.
You can't.
You're looking at, a fact that you got a guy who already helped someone develop in some way, shape, or form. I'm not giving him a lot of credit in that, but he was there. He said some things. He did some things. He's proven he can. With a great quarterback, that quarterback can develop with him at the very least, potentially. So, yeah. I'm going to 100% say Cam Ward. Let's stick to Cam Ward. Let's stick to the higher ceiling. Let's stick with the guy who's going to be the gunslinger, and let's get it rolling. So, all right. So
if you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.